When considering the wealthiest individuals on Earth, prominent names such as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett often come to mind. However, historical records portray Mansa Musa, a ruler from the 14th century in West Africa, as the richest person ever known to have existed. The extent of his wealth was so immense that it surpassed any form of description or understanding. Notably, his influence extended far beyond the borders of his own empire. During his pilgrimage to Egypt, his mere presence caused an economic downturn in the region, leaving a lasting impact on the economy. The spectacle of his wealth displayed during this pilgrimage was a sight to behold, captivating all who witnessed it. Here is the whole story of the richest man in history. Although there is very little record of his birth and childhood, Mansa Musa, the renowned ruler of the old Mali Empire, bore the personal name Musa, which derives from the Arabic form of Moses. The title Mansa denoted a position of power and leadership within the Mande culture. According to oral tradition and the Timbuktu Chronicles, he is referred to as Kanku Musa, a name that signifies Musa, son of Kanku, although the exact nature of this genealogical connection remains unclear. Another appellation associated with him is Hiji Mansa Musa, referencing his significant pilgrimage or Hajj. Various historical sources provided additional names for Musa, including Musa ibn Abi Bakr ibn Abi al-Aswad and Musa ibn Abi Bakr Salim al-Takri. Musa's father bore the name Fagaleh, and his mother is believed to have been named Kanku. Fagaleh was the son of Abu Bakr, who was a brother of Sanjata, the Mali Empire's first Mansa. Ibn Battuta, a visitor to Mali during the reign of Musa's brother, Suleiman, mentioned that Musa's grandfather was known as Surik Jata. It is possible that Surik Jata is another name for Sanjata, who was in fact Musa's great-uncle. The exact date of Musa's birth remains unknown, but in 1324, he appeared to be a young man. Musa assumed power in the early 1300s under circumstances that are not entirely clear. According to Musa's own testimony, his predecessor as Mansa of Mali, likely Muhammad ibn Q, led 2 expeditions to explore the Atlantic Ocean. The first mission had 200 ships, and the second involved 2,000. Musa was appointed as the deputy ruler by the Mansa and governed the empire in his absence. Musa was crowned as the Mansa, signifying a transfer of the line of succession from the descendants of Sanjata to the descendants of his brother Abu Bakr. Some modern historians have raised doubts about Musa's version of events, suggesting that he may have deposed his predecessor and fabricated the story of the voyage as a means to justify his claim to power. Nevertheless, the possibility of such a voyage has been taken seriously by several historians. According to Tariq al-Fatash, Musa had a wife named Inari Conte. Her clan name, Conte, is shared with both Sanjata's mother, Songalan Conte, and his archenemy, Sumanguru Conte. A significant portion of our knowledge about Musa originates from Arabic sources composed after his Hajj, particularly the works of Al-Umari and Ibn Khaldun. During his pilgrimage to Cairo, Musa formed friendships with officials like Ibn Amir Hajib, who gleaned insights about Musa and his kingdom directly from him. Later, this information was relayed to historians such as Al-Umari. Further details are found in 2 17th century manuscripts from Timbuktu, the Tariq ibn al-Mukhtar and the Tariq al-Sudan. It is worth noting that oral tradition preserved through the performances of Jeli, also known as griot, provides relatively limited information about Musa compared to other aspects of Mali's history. Musa ascended to the position of Mansa at a young age, possibly in his early 20s. Given the magnificence of his subsequent Hajj, it is probable that Musa devoted much of his early reign to its preparation. These preparations likely involved conducting raids to capture and enslave individuals from neighboring land, as Musa's entourage would consist of a vast number of enslaved people. According to historian Michael Gomez, it's estimated that Mali may have captured over 6,000 individuals annually for this purpose. As a result, the early years of Musa's reign were marked by ongoing military conflicts with neighboring non-Muslim societies. During his time in Cairo in 1324, Musa proudly declared that he had conquered 24 cities and their surrounding territories. Mansa Musa is widely celebrated for his immense wealth and renowned generosity. During his Hajj pilgrimage, Musa is believed to have carried as much as 18 tons of gold, valued at over $957 million in 2022. To enhance the perception of infinite wealth, Musa purposely spread rumors that gold grew abundantly in his kingdom, like a plant. According to some Arabic writers, Musa's extravagant gift-giving caused a temporary depreciation in the value of gold in Egypt. Al-Umari reported that the price of gold dropped from 25 silver dirhams per mithal before Musa's arrival to less than 22 dirhams afterwards, and this value remained relatively stable for at least 12 years. The wealth of the Mali Empire stemmed not only from direct control of gold-producing regions, but also from extensive trade networks and tribute. The gold Musa brought on his pilgrimage likely represented years of accumulated tribute which he had diligently collected during the early years of his reign. As a devout Muslim, he gained widespread recognition throughout Northern Africa and the Middle East due to his momentous pilgrimage to Mecca, known as the Hajj. Embracing Islam opened doors for Musa into the refined world of the Eastern Mediterranean, leading him to dedicate significant efforts to foster the growth of the religion within his empire. Prior to embarking on his Hajj, Musa entrusted his son Muhammad with the task of ruling in his absence. His pilgrimage, spanning from 1324 to 1325, covered an impressive distance of 2,700 miles, accompanied by an entourage of 60,000 men, all adorned in luxurious brocade and Persian silk, including 12,000 slaves. Musa's procession was a sight to behold. Each slave carried 1.8 kgs or 4 pounds of gold bars, while heralds dressed in silk attire bore golden staffs, managed horses, and handled bags. Musa ensured that the entire company, comprising men and animals, had their needs met. The procession even included 80 camels, each carrying 23 to 136 kgs or 50 to 300 pounds of gold dust, which Musa distributed to the needy individuals he encountered along the way. Not only did Musa generously give to the cities he passed through, such as Cairo and Medina, but he also engaged in trading gold for souvenirs. It was reported that he funded the construction of a new mosque every Friday. Al-Umari, who visited Cairo shortly after Musa's Hajj, marveled at the lavish display of power, wealth, and unprecedented size and grandeur exhibited during Musa's visit. The Mansa took great pride in showcasing the wealth of his nation. In July 1324, Musa and his entourage arrived at the outskirts of Cairo, where they camped near the pyramids of Giza for 3 days before crossing the Nile and entering Cairo on July 19th. During his time in Cairo, Musa had a meeting with the Mamluk Sultan Al-Nisar Muhammad, who had already received another Mansa, Sakura, on his Hajj. Initially, there was a tense moment as Al-Nasir expected Musa to bow before him, but Musa only prostrated. However, they eventually established a cordial relationship and exchanged gifts. Musa resided in Cairo's Karafa district and formed a friendship with his governor, Ibn Amir Hajib, who gained valuable knowledge about Mali through their interaction. Musa stayed in Cairo for 3 months before departing on October 18th with the official caravan headed to Mecca. Musa's generosity continued as he traveled to Mecca, where he bestowed gifts upon fellow pilgrims as well as the people of Medina and Mecca. However, a conflict arose between Malian pilgrims and a group of Turkic pilgrims at the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. Swords were drawn, but Musa intervened and persuaded his men to de-escalate the situation. After completing the Hajj, Musa and his entourage lingered in Mecca before starting their journey back to Cairo. Unfortunately, their return was marred by tragedy. By the time they reached Suez, many Malian pilgrims had succumbed to cold, starvation, or bandit attacks, and they had also lost a significant portion of their supplies. Facing financial difficulties, Musa had to borrow money and sell off many of the items acquired in Cairo before the Hajj, resulting in his accumulation of debts with several merchants. However, Al-Nasir Muhammad reciprocated Musa's earlier generosity by presenting him with gifts. During his journey back to Mali, Musa had an encounter with Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, a talented poet from Andalusia, known for his eloquence and expertise in jurisprudence. Impressed by Abu Ishaq's skills, Musa convinced him to accompany him to Mali. Additionally, Musa brought other scholars, including Maliki jurist, to contribute to the intellectual development of his empire. As Musa traveled through Gao and Timbuktu on his way back to Mali, historical accounts suggest that these cities willingly submitted to his rule. According to one narrative by Ibn Khaldun, Gao was conquered by Musa's general Sagmanji. However, another account indicates that Gao had already been conquered during the reign of Mansa Musa. Both accounts may hold truth, considering that Mali's control over Gao may have been tenuous, requiring subsequent powerful Mansas to periodically reaffirm their authority. Historical records document that Mansa Musa incorporated the cities of Timbuktu and Gao into his empire upon his return from Mecca in 1325. To enhance these cities, Musa enlisted architects from Andalusia and Cairo to construct magnificent structures such as his Grand Palace in Timbuktu and the enduring Jingareber Mosque, which stands to this day. Timbuktu swiftly emerged as a hub of trade, culture, and Islamic influence. Its markets attracted merchants from regions like Hausaland, Egypt, and other African kingdoms. Additionally, the establishment of a university in Timbuktu, as well as in the Malian cities of Jeni and Ségou, further fostered intellectual and religious growth. The markets and university played a pivotal role in spreading Islam, turning Timbuktu into a prominent center of Islamic scholarship. Word of the city's prosperity even reached southern Europe, prompting traders from Venice, Granada, and Genoa to add Timbuktu to their trading maps, seeking to exchange manufactured goods for gold. Under Musa's reign, the University of Sankora in Timbuktu experienced a revitalization. It attracted renowned jurists, astronomers, and mathematicians, drawing Muslim scholars from various parts of Africa and the Middle East to contribute to the city's rich learning and cultural heritage. In 1330, the Kingdom of Mosi invaded and conquered Timbuktu. However, Gao had already been captured by Musa's general, and Musa swiftly reclaimed Timbuktu. He fortified the city with a rampart and stone fortification and stationed a standing army to safeguard it against future invaders. Although Musa's palace has vanished over time, the university and mosque remain enduring symbols of Timbuktu's historical significance. One other remarkable achievement was the construction of the renowned Sankore Madrasa, also known as the University of Sankore in Timbuktu, which became a center of learning and scholarship. In Niani, Musa commissioned the construction of the Hall of Audience, an impressive structure connected to the royal palace through an interior door. This magnificent building was adorned with vibrant arabesques and featured a dome that added to its grandeur. The upper story boasted wooden window frames plated with silver foil, while the lower story shimmered with frames adorned in gold. Similar to the majestic Great Mosque of Timbuktu, which was also built during that era, the Hall of Audience showcased exquisite craftsmanship with its use of cut stone. During this flourishing period, Mali experienced a high level of urban development in its major cities. Sergio Domian, an Italian scholar specializing in art and architecture, described this area as the foundation of urban civilization. Mali boasted over 400 cities at its zenith, and the Niger Delta region was densely populated, reflecting the prosperity and cultural advancement of the empire. The exact date of Mansa Musa's death remains uncertain. According to Ibn Khaldun's reported reign lengths, calculating backward from the death of Mansa Suleiman in 1360, Musa would have passed away in 1332. However, Ibn Khaldun also mentions that Musa sent an envoy to congratulate Abu al-Hasan Ali on his conquest of Lemesine in May 1337. Yet, when Abu al-Hasan responded with an envoy, Musa had already died and Suleiman had ascended the throne. This suggests that Musa died in 1337. On the other hand, al-Umari, writing approximately 12 years after Musa's Hajj in 1337, claimed that Musa returned to Mali intending to abdicate and live in Mecca, but died before he could do so. This implies an even earlier date of Musa's death, predating 1332. It is possible that it was Musa's son, Magan, who conveyed the congratulations to Abu al-Hasan, or Magan, who received the envoy after Musa's death. This interpretation is supported by Ibn Khaldun referring to Suleiman as Musa's son in that passage, suggesting a potential confusion between Musa's brother Suleiman and his son Magan. Alternatively, the 4-year reign attributed to Magan by Ibn Khaldun referred to his rule during Musa's absence on the Hajj, and he only reigned briefly in his own right. Nehemiah Lefzion considered 1337 as the most likely date, a view shared by other scholars. 1337 is widely accepted as the most probable date of Mansa Musa's death.